A lone driver was driving along a dark and deserted road when suddenly his car stalled. Trying to call for help, he heard footsteps approaching his car. But when he stepped outside, there was no one in sight. Quite anxious, he returned to the car, and suddenly his mobile phone started ringing. The caller ID showed his own phone number. Stunned and frightened, he answered the call, but on the other end there was only heavy breathing and whispering, "You're not alone here." In horror, he threw the phone and tried to start the car again, but it refused to start. Suddenly, a figure in a black cloak emerged from the darkness, standing by his window. He screamed and hit the gas, fleeing the scene. Hours later, when he finally reached a safe place, he recounted his horrifying story, unaware that the one who had been pursuing him was still nearby. At night, as he tried to sleep in a safe place, he heard a knock on the glass. A faint light from a flashlight illuminated his window, and he saw a distorted face in a black cloak smiling at him. He realized that the one who had been pursuing him had found him again. Fear engulfed him as he realized that he hadn't escaped the nightmare but was trapped by his own fears. He clenched his fists, battling panic, and decided to gather the last shreds of his strength. At us. He turned off the car headlights to hide in the darkness and began to slowly crawl away through the bushes, hoping to go unnoticed. But the further he moved away from the car, the louder the whispering became, and the closer the ghost seemed to follow him. He ran, not looking back, realizing with every step that on this road awaited something dark and sinister, something he couldn't defeat. His heart pounded so hard it felt like it would jump out of his chest. He kept running, sinking deeper into the darkness of the night. Finally, when he had almost exhausted his strength, he saw lights from cars in the distance. With relief, he realized it was help. But as he approached them, it turned out to be not roadside assistance but an old abandoned auto repair shop. The sinister silhouette appeared before him again, and he realized there was no escape for him. The car raced down the road like a carnivorous beast, speeding towards its prey. Everything around became blurred, as if reality distorted under the influence of some ominous force. He tried to get out of the car, but the doors slammed shut, depriving him of his last hope of escape. With each passing second, the car accelerated faster, ruling over his life like an inexorable judge. He had only to close his eyes and wait for this nightmare to end. Suddenly, the car stopped, as if the sinister driver had found his victim. The door opened, and he stepped out, facing his fate head-on. But instead of a horrific confrontation, he was met with dark, bottomless emptiness. In silence, he realized it was just a nightmare, and his ghosts were nothing but shadows of his own fears. With relief, he came to understand that the real horror was what lived inside us, and only we ourselves can defeat it.